Okay, so again, we're learning how to find an equation of a line. What's the first thing we should write? What is the equation of a line? Y equals mx plus b. And to write the equation, we need to know m, and we need to know what? B. Okay, so let's read this example. Okay, so we're given some information in the table. We're looking at a relationship between age and heart rate. So this would be my x and this would be my y. Remember from grade 9, if you're given the table, we have x is our independent variable and y is our dependent variable, which means we're actually given two coordinates. What are the two coordinates we're given? We're given 2 points on the line. If we were to graph this, we would plot those 2 points and we would connect them and make a line. What are the 2 points? I'm going to call this A and B. What's point A? 20, 138. And point B? 45, 123, right? When you're writing down coordinates, we label them X, Y, right? Who remembers how you can find the slope? Remember, we need to know the slope of a line. How can you find the slope of a line using 2 coordinates? What's the slope formula, Leroy? Over, raise your hand if you remember this formula. Okay, this one has a lot of steps to it. The first thing we're going to do is we need to figure out the slope. If we don't know the slope, we can't write an equation of a line. We were not given the slope and we were not given the y-intercept, right? So we need to figure out, first things first, can we find the slope? We have 2 points, yes. Let's call this 1 and let's call this 2. So fill it in. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're subtracting our y values. What is y2? 123 take away 138 over what? x2 is 45 minus 20. Always, it doesn't matter which one we label 1 and 2 as long as you're going in the correct order. I'm doing y2 minus y1 and then x2 minus x1. So let's simplify. What is 123? Take away 130. Negative 15. If you do 123, take away 138, you get negative 15. Over, what's 45? Take away 20. Good. 25. We are going to put this in lowest terms, leave it as a fraction. This is divisible by 5, and this is divisible by 5, right? So what's 15 divided by 5? Negative 3 over 25 divided by 5 is 5. That's the slope in lowest terms. Okay, but how does that, now what? We've only gotten one part of the equation. I need to find B. So we know that we don't know B. We don't know where the y-intercept is. We just figured out M. Do you have a coordinate? Do you have an X and a Y, a point that would be on this line? Yes, we have 2. We had this point and we had this point that were given. Does it matter which point you choose? No, they're both on the line. Which one do you want to pick? A or B? A, sure. Okay, so we're going to use point A for our X and our Y. And we just calculated the slope. What was it? Negative 3 over 5? Right? Okay. So once again, I said, I'm not going to stress this enough. Just write your equation of a line. And now all you have to do is you have to plug in X, plug in Y, plug in M, and we're finding B. That's the same thing over and over and over. So instead of writing Y, I'm writing 138 equals, what's my M? Negative 3 over 5. What's my X? Right? M. X means m times x. So I'm putting brackets here to show that I'm multiplying these two together. What is x? 20. Because we're dealing with fractions, I'm going to make that a fraction so I can show you how to multiply. 20 over 1. Okay? Copy that down. And then I have to put plus. Well, I can't do anything on the left side. I'm going to keep the 138 there. Can you simplify this? How do you multiply fractions? No, you do not cross multiply. You multiply the numerator times the numerator. What's negative 3 times 20? Negative 60, and then I multiply the denominator times the denominator. That's why we put this 1 here. I wanted you to remember that you have to multiply that by 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. I still have the plus b. Can we simplify that? Can you do negative 60 divided by 5? Okay, so I still have this 138. What's negative 60 divided by positive 5? Negative 12, okay? Plus the b. The opposite of take away 12 is plus 12, right? Because if I add the 12, that's gone, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get b all by itself. But I had this 138 here on the left side. I have to add 12 to that as well. Because if I added 12 on the right side, I have to add 12 on the left side. Okay, what's 138 plus 12? 150 equals b. So b equals 150. We figured out m. We figured out b. What am I going to find? The equation of the line. Yep. Y is equal to negative 3 over 5x. Yep. Plus 150. Simple.